If you're looking for a therapist or a psychotherapist, or you're already in therapy, consider the following checklist. This list could also be helpful to assess the ability of the therapist to meet your needs and provide you with effective counseling. First, you must find a therapist that is a good match for your personality. Find a therapist with whom you feel comfortable, he is warm and accepting. In these regards, the therapist should create a comfortable and safe environment for therapy, yet is willing to challenge you when necessary. Choose a therapist that is non-judgmental. A therapist should respect you as an individual, respect your background, respect your belief system, and respect your opinion and decisions. As such, it is important that the therapist meets you where you are without judgment. Trust is key to any healthy and constructive relationship, especially psychotherapy. A therapist should be someone you have a rapport with, someone you can trust. If you cannot be open with your therapist, then you will not get the help you need and the results you wish for. A therapist should be educated, an expert in the field you're interested in, and capable of promoting a positive change. The psychotherapist should have the necessary education, credentials, and licenses, such as a licensed marriage and family therapist. The therapist should act professionally. If therapist breaks appointments, arrives late, or allows interruptions, consider leaving the therapist. Psychotherapists are human beings too. Some are healthier than others. A therapist should feel comfortable with himself, should not be anxious, arrogant, or depressed. Look for someone that is confident, humble, and relaxed. The therapist should always be respectful and decent, and never condescending. Effective therapy takes place in the context of a respectful, equal therapeutic relationship between two individuals. Regardless of the best effort provided by the client or the therapist, no one can guarantee results. So be careful when a therapist promises you results. However, if after 2 months or so you don't see or feel some kind of change, consider replacing your therapist. Before the first meeting, it is recommended that you have a 10 to 15 minutes phone conversation with the therapist so you can interview him and get a sense of his style as well as learning of your comfort level with him. Also, the therapist should be able to accept the idea that clients are entitled to look around and make their due diligence before they commit to any therapist. Therapeutic guidelines provide the framework in which a successful counseling takes place. Therapeutic guidelines are important for establishing healthy boundaries and procedure that clarify rules of engagement. As such, a therapist should provide you with a clear policy and guidelines, including confidentiality, client's right, a consent form, and other relevant, important information. Patience is one of the most important skills that all therapists should demonstrate and also teach their clients. In these regards, the therapist should allow you to explain your problem and patiently listen, while not diagnosing you prematurely or providing you with a quick solution. Proactivity is the difference between talking and acting. A therapist that is too silent or too talkative is not going to be a good match for most people. If the therapist does not promote interactive dialogue, does not answer most questions, or pretends to be a blank screen, consider changing your therapist. Also, it is important for the client to be proactive and responsible in session and share their input. A psychotherapist should have humility and be open-minded to different possibilities and ways of thinking. A therapist should accept the idea that a consultation or second opinion might be helpful in the course of therapy. Being open-minded allows therapists and clients to see things in a new, non-judgmental and creative ways, which are the foundation of innovative solutions. A therapist should be flexible in his clinical orientation and should customize his counseling model to the client's specific problem and need instead of imposing his approach on all patients. A good therapist begins with the need of the client and then moves forward to find the appropriate intervention. A therapist is expected to be authentic and real while keeping in mind that the therapy is about the client. A therapist who provides irrelevant information or reveals too much information about himself is taking the therapy away from being productive. It is critical to maintain a clear and healthy boundary. No business offers are permitted. Any sexual relationship is a malpractice. If you feel something is wrong with the relationship, or if you feel exploited in any way, seriously consider leaving the therapist. While it is important to discuss the background and childhood of the client, the therapist must help the client deal with real, present issues. There is no point of dealing with the past without its relevancy to the present moment and applicability to the present challenges. A therapist should not make your decision, but rather provide you with the skills and the process to understand your situation, the options available, and their consequences to allow you to make the best decisions. The clients should be empowered to make their own decisions based on their values, belief system, priorities, and cost-benefit analysis. The best decisions are made when the client is evaluating all options, seeing the bigger picture, while considering the long-term implications. A therapist should be open to feedback from the client regarding the therapy process and adjust the intervention accordingly. Therapy can be difficult, and at times clients may become frustrated with the entire process, so it is important to discuss these feelings with the therapist. Clients should be proactive and responsible in session and share their input too. A therapist should conduct regular evaluation regarding the progress of the therapy and revise his intervention accordingly. An effective monitoring and evaluation mechanism is required to determine how well the therapeutic intervention meets its objectives and serves the client. A therapist should be direct, open and honest, and communicate effectively with all clients while considering their age, their style, and their personality. The therapist should recognize the importance of working outside of the therapy room, and as such, the therapist from time to time should provide the clients homework assignments to reinforce the therapy process. Clients' compliance with the therapy assignments is one of the main therapeutic indicators that determine the success of the therapeutic intervention. At times, it is helpful to bring your friend, partner, child, parent, or any other relevant individuals with you to therapy. The therapist should be flexible in terms of who can participate in sessions as well as the frequency of the sessions. A therapist should not be too eager to please. Instead, the therapist should challenge his client and be proactive. Psychotherapists can help clients deal with the crisis by offering assistance, guidance, and support. Yet, therapist's role is to empower the clients to solve their issues and their problems by themselves.